practices, and you will gain a reward of it. And I'll repeat it for people to understand, because we should have no problem with people understanding it. How do we join between these hadith? Because if you remember, I spoke about the four methods. What they try to do is, the issue is not the hadith themselves. The issue is our interpretation of them. You see. But this is a very interesting exercise, and I'm doing it slightly different to the way I did it previously. So, if I do it this way, if I change it this way, right? Watching, okay? Let's do it this way instead. Now, can you see how to join all the hadith together? I'll give Ali a minute, and Muhammad, you probably get a minute and a half. Look at it now. Pay attention to, there's not quite a few subtle hints that clues there, if you like board games. You should know in your generation what you want. Clue is in the close. Are you confident? Abdo? Where's the microphone? Where's the microphone? Aywa. Right, raise your voice, but is the microphone on? Alright, speak louder.
So it has a 4:1 ratio. So there's 1 times that back, like this is mentioned, and 1 second.
Okay. Anything else? How do you reconcile the issue? The issue is what? Once and you can't introduce, once and you can. How do we rearrange them in a way to help you to join them all together? Hands up, you can start to see the picture. Okay, good. Muhammad, you have your hand up. Alright, your hand down. Give the guy the microphone. I want to hear what you have to say. Give him 2 microphones.
Turn it on.
Alright, listen to that. Don't let me down.
Just push it up, yeah.
So about the context. So if you read it, we didn't have the parts and brackets before.
That was also a clue, there you are.
So when you read it all together in that order, it gives you a different picture because they're leading on from each other.
Excellent. Okay, for those who don't get what you're trying to say, I get what you're trying to say. Explain how they lead on from each other.
I know it's like, you know how in the Quran, sometimes when you read the translation,
Don't get.
but you have stuff in brackets. Because if you read the line by itself, you miss out on the further context of the line before it.
Right.
So before, we didn't have the context of the bad practices being talked about.
Keep going. So, you get it, you're there, but say the words. Don't say it. You're there.
From each other?
Explain that, and that's the answer. Explain it in a bit more detail. How do they lead on from each other? Show me how they lead on from each other.
It starts off talking about good practices.
Yeah.
Then it goes into bad practices.
I will.
And then it expands on what the bad practices are.
Excellent. That's it. I knew you would get it. When I was doing this weekend, I had you in mind. So I'm going to ask this question, whether you will get it right. Excellent. And who wants to explain that a bit more? Oh, no, I'll explain it. No much time, got too much stuff to do today. Essentially, the first hadith, Alright? Which is the main hadith that Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah and the Madhab, this is their main proof. For those who want to say it's a false claim. It's not. That's the hadith they use. He or she who institutes a good practice in Islam, Sunnah al-Hasana in Islam is rewarded. I put that in red. Then I put it in green. However, he or she who institutes or introduces, maybe introduces is a better word, I'm going to use that next time, who introduces a bad practice, put it in green, in Islam bears the responsibility of it. The other two hadith, which are the most famous hadith that everyone talks about, and out of context, beware of matters newly begun. Bad practices mentioned. For every newly begun matter, bad practice is innovation, and every innovation in that context is misguided. As for the third hadith, whoever innovates in this matter of ours, something that does not belong to it, as a bad practice, this is rejected. So, if you look at it this way, hence I put jigsaw puzzle and rearranging the hadith, as Muhammad rightly spotted, alhamdulillah. If you look at it in that context, problem over. Easy. It makes sense. The hadith don't contradict, they don't clash, they complement each other. And as we're about to understand that in more detail. There we go, Bismillah.
Both schools join between the two groups.
Pay attention, please. Don't ask me a question that's already on the slide. Pay attention. I haven't got time to go back to the slides again. You haven't understood it. Because there's quite a lot to do.
Both schools joined between the two groups of hadith and said that the hadith warning against bid'ah group 1 are in reality subdivisions of the hadith.
As Muhammad said, following on, or subdivisions
Of the hadith talking about introducing bad practices. In other words, second part of the hadith that talks about bad practices is essentially talking about the bid'ah that we are warned about. For every matter newly begun is innovation, every innovation is misguidance. This is how all the hadith can be understood, for in reality they are one hadith.
The beauty of it, it all becomes one hadith. As Muhammad, they follow off from each other quite nicely. Alright? For those who are understanding, that should be enough. The slides we uploaded, you can go back and have a look at it tonight. I get that some of you are tired, it's a long day. I've had a long day, believe it or not, but alhamdulillah, just try our best to try to understand it. Some of you will get it. Some of you need to go back and look at the slides, no problem. But the slides are there for you to look at. Look at the beauty of that. Huh? It's all one hadith. Excellent.
Taking only one piece of the puzzle and believing that you have the whole picture.
Can you see why people say, oh, every innovation is bid'ah, blah, 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 right? They have one piece of the jigsaw. Like the elephant. Close your eyes, hold on to the trunk, hold on to the ear, hold on to this, hold on to that, and everyone comes out with a different idea. The guy steps back, switches on the lights, and sees a whole elephant. That's one of the biggest problems we have today, is that people take one hadith and bang on about it, and call people innovator, kafir, pushback, because you have one hadith. And then they say, that's the way of the Salaf. That's the way of the early Muslims. Unbeknown to them, early Muslims would probably call that individual an innovator. Yeah? Whether you believe it or not, Alright, listen to that.
Also, the hadith, whoever innovates in this matter of ours is something that does not belong in it.
Whoever innovates in this matter of something that does not belong to it. Pay attention, because people read this hadith without any understanding. Does not belong in it is rejected. I've highlighted does not belong for a reason. What is that reason?
Question: what if someone innovates something that does belong to it?
Now what? The hadith refers to whoever innovates in this matter of something that does not belong to it. What happens if this newly invented or innovative thing is something that belongs to it? Now what? Question. What if someone innovates something that does belong to it? Are you getting this?
Scholars have concluded that it is not rejected.
Scholars have concluded that it is not rejected. The form of test. And Taha, to answer your question, they say that the hadith is in the context of sadaqah. The form of that and the majority of scholars beg to differ. And that's my proof. That's what you say. If you want more details on top of that, you can waste your time with that if you want. But ultimately, you have the majority of scholars saying otherwise.
It's as if the Prophet said, if whoever innovates in this matter something that does belong to it, then it is accepted.
That's essentially what the Prophet is saying. Alright? Yeah? If the Prophet warns, if someone innovates something that does not belong to it, it's rejected. But if you innovate something that does belong to it, it is accepted. That's the understanding of the ulama, of the scholars. Not Zane, who sat here trying to convince you of the deviant ways he's on. That's what the ulama have said. Prove me wrong. That's my challenge. Prove me wrong. The ulama did not say that. Prove me. Tell me wrong. It's not about, I'm not that bigoted and that kind of narrow-minded. If you can prove to me, yeah, I'm giving you all this, and I'm giving you scholars, I'm giving you hundreds of years, I'm giving you majority of scholars. Come to me with the opposite, with the majority. Give me names, give me scholars, give me the books, give me the ulama, give me the formula, give me that level. Otherwise, keep quiet. And you have nothing to say. And he's saying it's too loud. Alright?
This is a proof of the division of bid'ah. Let's see an example of bid'ah hasana, good innovation.
Let's see any examples. Alright, just bear with me, quite a bit of you.
Example 1, Hadith of Umar and Ali. Umar during his caliphate gathered the various people that were praying Tarawih prayers into a single congregation.
Did you know Tarawih was not done in Jama'ah at the time of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam? You know, here we have Tarawih, right? In Jama'ah. That wasn't always the case. The Prophet never did it. No? In Jama'ah, Abu Bakr didn't do it. So how is it that we, in Tarawih, we pray Jama'ah? Where does that come from? You're about to find out.
Ubay ibn Ka'ab said, this was not done before. Umar said, I'm fully aware of this, but it is an excellent. He also said, what a fine, blessed innovation this is.
What a fine, blessed innovation. Interesting choice of words. Allah inspired him to say that. Yeah, it's amazing choice of words. What a blessed innovation this is. In Arabic, نعم البدعة هذه. اللهم صل على. Not on Prophet. Interesting choice of words. Interesting choice. Questions at the end. Source Bukhari. For those who are interested. Alright? Definition of bid'ah according to the Salaf. We want the Salaf. The Salaf? Let's see what the Salaf have to say. Let's pick Imam al-Shafi'i. Why Imam al-Shafi'i? Does anybody have a problem with Imam al-Shafi'i? From the Salaf? Spent 10, 20 years studying Arabic language. I think he should be listened to. Like 20 years studying Arabic language. And he's Arab as well. Let's see what Imam al-Shafi'i has to say.
Imam al-Shafi'i, an authority universally accepted in Sunni Islam, and Umar's words.
Clarifying what Umar al-Khattab said.
There are two kinds of introduced matters. One is that which contradicts a text of the Quran or the Sunnah, or a report of the early Muslims, or the consensus of the Muslims. This is an innovation of this guidance.
Get that, huh? One that contradicts the Quran or the Sunnah or report from the early Muslims, or the ijma' of the ulama, then this is an innovation of this kind. It's Imam al-Shafi'i. Spent 20 years studying Arabic language, faqih, mufti, alim, wali, salih, taqi, and all the words you can think of. But number two,
the second kind is that which is in itself itself good and entails no contradiction of any of these authorities. This is a non-reprehensible innovation.
So then the Shafi'i from the Salaf, 150 to 204, is about as Salaf as you can get, right? For those who know the Salaf. Right? Here's someone from the Salaf saying bid'ah is good and bad. Alright? Let's repeat that again for people who don't want to hear it. I won't tell you more. There you go.
Hadith commentary on those words.
Alright, Al-Hafid ibn Hajar al-Asqalani. Anybody heard of him? Two. Bismillah, what can you talk about? Briefly. Famous hadith scholar. Do you know Bukhari hadith? Who's heard of Bukhari? Answer quickly. Bukhari, right? The main commentary on hadith, the shuruh, there are commentaries. The main commentary, like every scholar worth their weight, any scholar of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah will have Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani's commentary on Bukhari. What does he say?
The root meaning of innovation is what is produced without precedent. It's applied in the law in opposition to the Sunnah and it is therefore blameworthy. Strictly speaking, if it is part of what is classified as commendable by the law, then it is good innovation.
If it is what? Commendable in the law, then what? It is a good innovation. It's the law, it's the Sharia that dictates it is good or bad. Not if the Prophet did it or not. Not if the Prophet did it or not, it's what the Sharia says. That's controversial for some people, but it's the Sharia. I'm not making this up. It's not me trying to push a particular agenda, as some of the ignorant people may believe. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong.
Well, if it is part of what is classified as blameworthy by the law, then it is blameworthy. Otherwise, it falls in the category of what is permissible. And it can be divided into 5 non-categories.
Right. If we say that bid'ah is good and bad, within the good, it's a lot more nuanced, right? We can start going into different things. Let's see Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani is obviously later because commentary comes later, but a scholar who everyone agrees upon. Alright, compiling the Quran. This is a nice example. Have you heard people say, but the Prophet didn't do it? How can you do something the Prophet didn't do? Hands up who's heard that before. Alright? And how many people close down discussions? The Prophet never did it. How can you do something the Prophet never did? If it was good, wouldn't the Prophet have done it? Right? Bismillah, let's see what we say to that.
After the Prophet ﷺ and those who had memorized the Quran had died, the Quran had not been compiled.
Did you know, during the time of the Prophet ﷺ, they didn't have the whole Mus'haf. They memorized it. There were certain parts of the Quran there in animal skin, but they carrying the whole Quran. They weren't Mus'haf the Quran, but they carried it on. They didn't have to, they memorized it. But what happened was this.
Allah suggested it to Abu Bakr, the Caliph at the time.
Why? Because the Huffaz began to die, or they were martyred. And faced with the possibility that the Quran disappears, which never would happen, obviously, Umar ibn Khattab, who is the same one who obviously kind of mentioned on the Tarawih, comes to Abu Bakr and says, Ya Khalifa, we're going to do something. We have to what? Compile it, get it written down. Because the alternative is what? What's the alternative?
All the Hafiz possible.
Because the Huffaz are dying. Pay attention to what Abu Bakr says.
Abu Bakr says, how can we do something that the Prophet ﷺ didn't do?
That's right. How can I? He's Khalifa. The Prophet never did this. How can I do something the Prophet never did? Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Listen to that amazing and beautiful beautiful response from Umar ibn Khattab that wallahi can only be interpreted as this is Allah's preservation in. Allah moved Umar ibn Khattab to say these things in order to preserve his book. This is the hidden metaphorical hand of Allah. Now you know what I was saying metaphorical. You understand the joke. Listen to the response.
By Allah, it is good.
What is good? Doing something the Prophet never did, it's good. Because there was no need to do it at the time of the Prophet. No need. But now there's a need. So this very simplistic idea the Prophet never did something, you can't do it, is nonsense.
Abu Bakr eventually agreed and asked Zane ibn Thabit to compile the Quran, who said, how could we do something that the Prophet didn't do?
Even he had problems. How can I? But they convinced him. Because what's the alternative?
They convinced him and he compiled the Quran.
And this narration is in Bukhari. You see the point? The point is very clear, very green. Those to understand, inshallah. Alright.
A great number of hadiths, most of them in Sahih collections, show that many of the prophetic companions initiated new acts, form of invocation, supplication, dua, and so on, that the Prophet ﷺ had never previously done or ordered to be done.
Oh, so what are we going to say? The Sahaba were innovators, they did things the Prophet never told them to do. And they did them. Why is that the case?
The companions did them because of their conviction that such acts were the good that Islam and the Prophet ﷺ came with, and in general terms urged the like of to be done in accordance with.
Where's their proof? Their proof is this.
And do the good that happily may succeed.
With one P. 2 P's. Yeah, do good. So happily you may succeed. That's what they talk. That's their proof. And the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, which is
He who inaugurates
what introduces
a good sunnah in Islam earns the reward of it, and all who perform it after him without diminishing their own rewards in the slightest.
Bismillah. Alright, couple of examples, let's go.
Abu Hurairah relates that the Prophet, after the dawn prayer, the Prophet said to Bilal, Bilal, tell me which of your acts in Islam you are most hopeful about, for I have heard the sound of your sandals in paradise.
The Prophet ﷺ heard the footsteps of the sandals of Sayyidina Bilal in Jannah. Actually, you think about that time. Look at that. For those who are literal, take that literally and see what happens. Take it literally. Amazing moment. And the Prophet is wondering, what is it that you've done in order for this to happen? In other words, the Prophet is saying, you're doing something I haven't told you to do. But look at the effects of it. You walk and take your footsteps in Jannah.
And he replied, I have done nothing. I am more hopeful about that than the fact that I do not perform ablution at any time of the night or day without praying with that ablution whatever has been destined for me to pray.
He's saying, every time I do wudu, I pray 2 rak'at. And because of that, because of the reward of that, the Prophet never told him to do that, by the way. But because of that, the Prophet, I can see your footsteps in Jannah. What is it that you're doing? Bukhari, Muslim, Ahmed. Alright, let's look at what the scholars have said. Okay? For those who want to argue.
Says in Fath al-Bari that the hadith shows it is permissible to use personal reasoning, which they had, in choosing times for acts of worship. Bilal reached his conclusion, and the Prophet ﷺ confirmed him therein.
We're going to pause here for about a minute or two. Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani, the most authoritative commentator of Bukhari, scholar who Ahlul Sunnah agree on, has said, regarding this hadith, this: it is permissible for you, the scholars and the people, to use personal ijtihad in choosing times for acts of worship. Why do I choose Monday night? Because that's the time I'm free, and that's the time you guys have to be free. I choose Monday. It's an act of worship during this class. Why did you choose charity week in that particular week? Why choose the Thursday for your event? There's nothing wrong with it. We choose that day. You see, there's nothing wrong with choosing a particular night or particular day or particular week or whatever it is to perform acts of worship. Who said that? In the Hari Asqalani. You got problems with that? You got problems with him. If he's an innovator, I'm an innovator. No problem. If he's a mubtada, I'm a mubtada with him. I'll be a mubtada with him. Rather be a mubtada with him than be a Sunni with you. ويغضب من يغضب. إن شاء الله. Or hadith number 2.
Similar to this is the hadith in Bukhari about Khubayb, who asked to pray 2 rak'ahs before being executed by eyewitnesses in Mecca. Who was the first to establish the sunnah of 2 rak'ahs for those who are steadfast in going?
This particular companion was about to be executed. About to be executed, right? And before he is executed by the mushrikeen, he says to them, allow me to pray 2 rak'ahs. Who told him to do that? The Prophet didn't tell him to do that. No one told him to do that. He did himself. Nowadays, this happened nowadays, people call this person innovator. That's the reality. But no one told him to do that. And there's no problems with doing that. Because in the Hajar Asqalani, there's no problems with doing that.
These hadiths are explicit evidence that Bilal and Khubayb used their own personal reasoning, ijtihad, in choosing the times of acts of worship without any previous command or precedent from the Prophet ﷺ, other than the general demand to perform prayer.
Of course. Very simple. For those who want to see. Hadith number 3.
He said, when we were praying behind the Prophet ﷺ, and he raised his head from bowing and said, Allah hears whoever praises him.
In Salah, can we add things that the Prophet never did? In Salah, can we say things the Prophet never told us to say? Did the Prophet not say to us, Sallu, kama ra'aytumuni usalli? Pray as you see me pray. Yeah? Which means what? Don't do anything other than what the Prophet taught you. Correct? No. It's not correct. That's how you be taught. Listen to this. Why is it not correct? This hadith will show you.
Ibn Rafi said, when we were praying behind the Prophet ﷺ, and he raised his head from bowing and said, Allah hears whoever praises him. A man behind him said, Our Lord, yours is the praise, abundantly, wholesomely, and blessedly.
So the Prophet is praying. Yeah? The Sahaba behind him. One of the Sahaba said, when they heard Sami Allah ibn Hamidah, one of the companions, رَبَّنَا لَكَ الْحَمْدُ حَمْدًا كَثِيرًا, and so on and so forth. That was the first time anybody had ever said that. And the Prophet had heard that for the first time. And the Sahaba had heard that for the first time. This is the Salah in which the Prophet said, pray as if you see me pray. Alright? What's going to apply to this? When he rose to leave, the Prophet said, who said that? Who said that? Is the Prophet going to shout at that person? Is the Prophet going to call that person innovator? Is the Prophet going to... Prophet not going to do anything. Why? Because this happened.
And when the man replied that it was he, the Prophet ﷺ said, I saw 30 odd angels, each striving to be the one to write it.
Amazing, huh? When he said that dua, the Prophet said, I saw 30 angels all running to write down that reward. Who told him to do that? Who said to do that? Nobody. Himself. In an act of worship in which the Prophet explicitly told us, pray as if you see me pray. But it's not meant in a way that people think it is. Well, look at the reward. Alright, someone will say, well, hang on a minute, that's at the time of the Prophet is not allowed right now, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. I'll say to you, would the angels still write it down today? If nobody said it, would the angels still write it down? Yes. Because it's nothing to do with the time or the age. Angels saw it. It's a good act. The angel willing to write it down. Whether it's someone said it then, now, or 2,000 years from now, it's irrelevant. Because the angels, the fact that it's at the time of the prophet or not, has no bearing on the fact that Abraham wrote it down. That's the point. Not that means that you can say that, but listen to that. Bukhari Muslim.
Ibn Hajar says in Fath al-Bari that the hadith indicates the permissibility of initiating new expressions of dhikr in the prayer other than the ones related to the hadith text, as long as they do not contradict those conveyed by the hadith, since the above words were a mere enhancement and addendum to the film.
Just enhancing it, right? Enhancing it, it's not doing anything haram. Nothing wrong with that. Hadith number 4.
Aisha said that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam
Allah be pleased with it.
dispatched a man at the head of the military expedition who recited.
Alright, this is an interesting one. This is an interesting one, right? Listen to this.
Dispatched a man at the head of a military expedition who recited the Quran with his companions at prayer, finishing each recital with al-Ikhlas.
Every time he'd hear the prayer, he'd finish with reading Surah Al-Ikhlas. Every single time. Every single time. Alright? Does the Prophet teach him to do that? No. Is that a bid'ah? No.
When they returned, they mentioned this to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He told them, ask him why he does this. And when they asked him, the man replied,
Why did the Prophet ask him? Ask them to ask him why. To teach us a lesson. There's a reason why he's doing this. The Prophet knows the answer belongs to man. It's us to learn something from it.
because it describes the All Merciful, and I love to recite it.
I love to recite it. The man loves the verse of the Quran. Leave him alone. Leave him alone. Allahu Akbar.
Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said to them, tell him Allah loves him.
And what else is there once Allah loves you? You know what that means? It means health. Allah loves you. Allah doesn't punish somebody who loves you. You're in Jannah. You're in Jannah. خلاص. اشرح لي. الله. ما شاء الله. It's in Bukhari.
We do not know of any scholar who holds that doing the above is recommended, for the acts of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is to do regularly are superior.
Yes, the acts of the Prophet is superior. Yeah. I'm not saying that that is highly recommended. The way of the Prophet is superior. Yeah. No problem with that. But
His confirming the like of this illustrates his sunnah regarding his acceptance of various forms of obedience and acts of worship. Shows he did not consider the like of this to be a reprehensible innovation.
we're a bad innovation. Prophet never once said to them, or Bilal, or any Sahaba, haram, have me do something. I never told you to do that. I never told you to say this. I never told you to do that.
Note, all the hadith about the prayer, the most important of bodily acts of worship, the Prophet ﷺ said, pray as you have seen me pray.
You see my point on that? You see the point? The Prophet, this is an act of worship in which the Prophet said, pray as if you see me pray, and the Sahaba doing things slightly differently, and the Prophet accepted it. If that's the case in Salah, and it's accepted, how about outside of Salah?
Despite which he accepted the above examples of personal reasoning, because they did not depart from the form defined by him, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. For every limit must be observed, while there is latitude in everything, besides, as long as it is within the general category of being called for by sacred law.
That's important. High five.
Abu Sa'id al-Khudri says, the companions of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam departed on one of their journeys. Something at the encampment of some desert Arabs, who they asked to meet their hosts, but who refused to have them as guests. The leader of the encampment was stung by a scorpion, and his followers tried everything to cure him. And when all had failed, one said, "If you would approach the group camp near you, one of them might have something."
Who were the Sahaba. The Sahaba went out of the camp. And they refused to look after them. So the Sahaba went on their way. The leader then gets what? Gets hit by a scorpion. What's going to happen? Well, let's speak to these Arabs over here, whom we kind of knock back from looking after. Let's see what they can say. Let's see what this happens.
So they came to them and said, "O band of men, our leader has been stung and we've tried everything. Do you have something for it?" And one of them replied, "Yes, by Allah, I recite healing words, Ruqya, over people, but by Allah we ask you to be our host, and you refused, so I will not recite anything unless you give us a fee."
Clever, right? For those who are still awake. Explain to me what that hadith means, or that nation. What's going on here? Sisters, what's going on? Megan. What's going on here? What's happened? Explain what's happened.
Like literally what's happened?
Yeah. It's a way to wake everybody up.
Well, the companions of Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, the companions of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam.
Use the video. Talk.
Okay.
Yeah.
The companions of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam on a journey, and they encountered another group, usually those from no scorpion. They tried only to reduce his pain, and they couldn't do so. So they came to the companions of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and they offered to recite as well. But they wanted a fee in return.
Why?
Well, oh yeah, because they did want something.
There you are. Okay, it's interesting, right? Some of the rulings you can derive from that are very interesting. Anyway, listen to that, Hassan.
They then agreed upon a herd of sheep. So the man went and began splitting and reciting the Fatiha over the victim until he got up and walked as if he were a camel released from his hole.
Like that. He got up after the Sahabi read the Quran on him. Yeah, obviously in exchange for money, which is interesting. And he got up. And he was cured.
They paid the agreed upon fee, which some of the companions wanted to divide up. But the man who had done the reciting told them, "Do not do so until we reach the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and tell him what has happened, to see what he may order us to do."
MashaAllah.
They came to the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and told him what had occurred, and he said, "How did you know it was of the words which heal? You were right. Divide up the herd and give me a share."
What's the point here? Muhammad, what's the point? He chose the words himself. And that's why the Prophet asked him, "How did you know those particular words would heal?" The Prophet never told him that. Bukhari, those words to know where the hadith is from.
The hadith is explicit that the companion had no previous knowledge that reciting the Fatiha to heal was permissible by the Sharia. He did so because of his own personal reasoning, ijtihad, and since it did not contravene anything that had been legislated, the Prophet ﷺ confirmed it because it was of the Sunnah and way to accept and confirm what had contained good and did not entail harm. Even if it did not proceed from the acts of the Prophet ﷺ himself as a definitive precedent.
Alright, this is a very interesting one. I'll read this one. Sayyid al-Khudri. One man heard another reciting al-Ikhlas, Qul huwallahu ahad, Allahu samad, over and over and over and over again. Again, and again. So when morning came, he went to the Prophet and sarcastically mentioned it to him. The Prophet ﷺ said, by him in whose hand my soul is in, it equates to 1/3 of the Quran. Context. This companion has taken some of the Quran and repeatedly recited it over and over and over again, chose a particular time of the day, evening, chose a particular act of worship, the Quran, and to repeat it several times throughout the night in the sea. Fascinating? Fascinating. And scholars take from this rulings for doing the dhikr. For those who want to know. In Bukhari, no. Another version of this hadith, in which the man said, I have a neighbor who prays at night and does not recite anything but Surah Al-Ikhlas. All I heard him is reciting Surah Al-Ikhlas the whole night. And that's what he's complaining about. Yeah? Imagine that. If somebody did not know that was there, say, Akhi, haram, bid'ah, the Prophet who did that, the Sahaba who did that, he wouldn't know that. He probably wouldn't to this hadith like most of all. That would be. So if you want to do that all night, and somebody wants to say, oh, that's a bid'ah, no proof for that. We have proof. But more importantly, if that never happened at the time of the Prophet, it's still okay to do it now. Because of the general principle, it's okay. It doesn't go against anything. Okay, the hadith show that the Prophet confirmed the person restricting himself to this surah, praying all night, despite it not being what the Prophet himself did. That's not the way of the Prophet. Personally, for though the Prophet's practice of reciting from the whole Quran was superior, no doubt, the man's act was within the general parameters of the Sunnah. Do good, recite the Quran. And there was nothing blameworthy. Where's the proof you can't say you can't do it? Don't tell me the Prophet never did it. That's not a proof. It's never been a proof. As we'll find out probably next week. We'll have time to do it today. The Sunnah. The Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ is his way of acting, ordering, accepting, and rejecting. People, the Sunnah is just outward look. The Sunnah of the Prophet is his way of how he acts, how he orders, how he accepts, and how he rejects. And the way of the rightly guided caliphs who followed his way, acting, ordering, accepting, and rejecting. So practices that are newly begun must be examined in light of the Sunnah of the Prophet and his way and path in acceptance and rejection. But the Hadith says every innovation, every, kullu, how to respond to this? Because you guys are half asleep, we'll do this next week. Inshallah, we'll stop. The problem now is that I can't answer your questions. Because you're going to ask me questions, but the answer is going to be next week. So I'm a bit behind, but I think it was worthwhile going slow. Kind of, as a recap, the four madhahib who know and we follow, the majority of us scholars, I explained, and Jamhur, I say that bid'ah is good and bad. And some of them have gone on to explain that bid'ah can be broken down to 5, and that received wide recognition amongst the majority of the schools of thought. Are there any schools that differ? Yes. Two of them famous ones, or two of the most famous, Ibn Taymiyyah and Shafi'i. And we realize they're from the later part of the Sunnah. And on the Shafi'i, from the Salaf, bid'ah is good and bad. Umar ibn Khattab, during this time, he made the Taraweeh into 20 rak'at and put it into Jama'ah and said, it's a good bid'ah. He himself was saying it's a good bid'ah. So we've realized that the issue of bid'ah, alright, you have to look at it in context of all the hadith, which is what I've been saying from day one, from that issue about madhahib. And as Muhammad rightly said, those hadith He who introduces a good practice gains the reward of it, and he who introduces a bad practice gains the sin of it. All the hadith of bid'ah fall underneath that, a subcategory of that. Or as Muhammad said, what did you say? It follows on. If you look at it that way, that's how the hadith makes sense, and that's the proof, or one of the main proofs, that the ulama of the four madhab, so they're proof for bid'ah falling into good and bad, and it gets classified into 5 categories. Next week, we're going to deal with this issue of what the hadith says every. And one man said to me a while back, but the Prophet every. Yes, every. Yeah, I know. But the Prophet every. He didn't say this or that, he said every. Couldn't. Every. He said every means every. Okay, obviously you don't understand the word every. If I said all of you here are brilliant students, all of you here love Liverpool. Alright, fair enough. See, so when I say every Muslim is fantastic. I love them. It doesn't matter. You get my point. I say every, alright? It doesn't mean every single person, because if you look at an live stream, open up the comment section, you're going to see people who don't listen. On my phone right now, there's people calling me all kinds of things, because they've got nothing else but to do with their lives. That's what people are about. So, if I say everybody likes me, it's understood that's not everybody. And the same way, this hadith here says every, but every has a context. Every here means every bid'ah is a bad bid'ah. That's how it's understood. We'll talk about it next week in more detail. We'll look at Arabic language. Again, I can't answer any questions because the answers will come next week. Anything outside of today's topic, or from previous topics? Actually, what we'll do, we'll recite the dua, and those who want to leave, to the sisters, because it's quite late, we'll inshallah. Al-Fatiha. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. Thank you for coming. Come back next week, inshallah. Alright. Zuhair, you said about the code, right? The scam thing?
Oh yeah, just put the LJB one up as well, please. Thank you.